Hello, good morning folks. I'm just going to do a little thread starter if you don't mind, and I thought about this a couple of weeks, but it took me that long to sort it out. What I thought I'd do today is songs I don't like. That is heavy metal, or rephrase that, heavy metal anthems I don't like. Because if I started pulling out heavy metal songs I don't like, this video will go on for about an hour and a half. So what I've been doing is condensing it down, and I've got 2 honourable mentions and 3 heavy metal anthems I can't stand. And what I'm going to do is explain to you why I don't like them. One came off a poor album, and one will absolutely shock you. It's off my favourite band on the planet, or one of them, and you'll probably be pretty shocked, but I'll explain why I don't like it. And I also challenge members of the VC to do this as well. It's something to do under these difficult times. But remember folks, the criteria is they've got to be extremely well known songs, or anthems. They can't be sort of bog standard songs, you know what I mean? No album fillers or anything like that. You notice I've got my AC/DC shirt on, thanks Greg. I put that on today because AC/DC have had their fair share of turkeys, and there's a few of them I don't like, but I thought that was the main band I pulled, especially in the Brian Johnson era. A lot of the songs they did I can't stand. I can make a video of that on its own. But without further ado, I just want to do a couple of honourable mentions. I've spoken about this album before, but when I discovered it, it wasn't even a heavy metal album. It's an emu album, and it's one of the best records I've ever heard. The first time I heard this, it blew me away, and it's probably the only record I've played it non-stop for 3 weeks. I thought it was a work of genius, and that's My Chemical Romance. And the best thing about it is I think they're back together now. But this record, I've got 2 copies because I've got 2 different covers, is Black Parade. And this album's just amazing until it gets to Teenagers. Can't stand it. What I do is I wait till Sleep goes on and I just fast forward it. I'm sorry, it just doesn't fit on here. Maybe it's me, maybe, I just don't like it. And, what can I say? I know I might upset Metal Mickey because he loves this album as well. But if you haven't discovered it yet, buy it. You can buy them in charity shops. And as I say, this is one of the best albums I've ever heard. I've got all their other stuff. One album they did after this I think was a bit not good, but the rest of them are pretty good. But this album, because I think one of the band members had somebody died of cancer at the time, but it's just an awesome record. Please discover it. But yeah, that's a one honourable mention. Now this honourable mention will shock a lot of people. This is the closest thing the Rolling Stones ever did to an experimental CD. Why? Because it has country and western on it, and that was their idea of experimenting. And you're thinking, why is a Zulu holding this up? Sympathy for the Devil. I love the lyrics, Mick. I love the music. It is famously called the Woohoo song, and that bloody irritates the hell out of me. Woohoo! 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 It just destroys a perfectly good song, Keith. A couple of them, fine, but all through the song. If you want to hear a good cover version of this, I like Guns N' Roses, Axl did it. But man, this one, and if I'm in a good mood, and I play this CD quite a lot, and if I'm in a good mood, I'll listen to Symphony, or if my head's not with it, I'll fast forward to No Expectations. But the other big song off here was Street Fighting Man, and Stray Cat Blues is another great song. But Sympathy is just a cracking song, cracking lyrics, cracking vocals, cracking everything. It's those damn woohoos that get me. So that's another honourable mention as well. And by the way folks, that wasn't the original cover for you Rolling Stones purists. Now we get on to the main 3. I'm afraid this is again my opinion only. These 3 songs are beyond redemption for me. I will never ever like these songs as long as I live. And some of you may think, God, the Zulu's gone nuts. Yes, I've been nuts all my life. And he talks out of his bum. I've been doing that all my life as well. But I generally don't like these songs, and there's no chance of me ever liking them. Now, the first band is Wasp, and there was 2 songs they did I hated. The first, Wild Child. Now, I can't include that song because that song over the years has grown on me. But the one off here, because I haven't got it on CD, I've got the vinyl copy of it, is The Last Command record it was on, and that's Half Blind in Texas. I don't like that song whatsoever. It was too poppy, and I just hate the lyric. Half Blind in Texas, you know, it's just an awful lyric. The music's not too bad, but it irritates me. And this is I love Wasp to bits. They're in my top 3 or 4 bands, definitely in my top 5 bands. And if you watch this channel, I'm the world's biggest Wasp fan. But a record I can't stand is Half Blind in Texas. Nothing about it I like. You know, the music's not bad, but it's just too poppy. I like the darker side. You know, I wouldn't say too dark. But it's just got nothing there for me. I'm sorry, I just can't put my finger on that one. Just hate it. Now, this next one, the next 2 will shock you. But No Prayer for the Dying. This record wasn't Iron Maiden's finest work. Actually, it was pretty poor work. When you look at their albums ranked, this one's near the bottom of the pile. The reason why is I honestly don't think it's that bad. I mean, a lot of people say, well, he's nuts, it was bad, but I think there were some redeeming sort of factors with it. Like Tell Gunner wasn't a bad track, but it just lacked the depth of the early stuff, if you get what I mean. And man, I'm getting all technical today. Flipping, that must be the self-isolation or something. So bear with me. But it just lacked the sort of depth of the other stuff, you know what I mean? But I can tolerate Tell Gunner. Holy Smoke, can't stand that one because it's a dig at the church or evangelism and stuff like that. You know, fair enough, if you want to dig the church, keep it privately, don't do it in public forum, because, you know, you're handling people's beliefs after all. So, no, don't like that one. But the song that really does me on this one, and I absolutely can't stand it, is Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Now, you may think, well, it's the words, I can tolerate that. It's just awful. I believe the story went that Bruce Dickinson was going to record it as a soundtrack for Nightmare or some sort of film, and Steve Harris heard it and recorded it on this album. There is nothing about that song I like. The music's just awful, and the words, what is it? Well, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, we're not going to do that, are you? And it was banned in the UK on the BBC. And it did really, I think it got to number 1 or number 2 in the charts. Now, some of my friends will kill me for saying that because they absolutely love that song. I just hate it. I'm sorry. There's nothing I like about that song. I don't listen to this album anymore. I prefer the earlier stuff when it had a bit more substance, but I just can't stand it. I've been going a bit fast, but the next record is going to shock a lot of you. And I'm sorry it's still cellophane, because I've only bought it a couple of weeks ago, because you know I've been replacing all my Judas Priest collection that's been lost or damaged over the years. And that's off this album. Now, I know what you're all thinking. He's going to go for United. Well, I could do. I mean, to be honest, it wasn't their the best job. Has he got United? I'm sorry, I can't see the track. But Grinder was some amazing song. Metal Gods, amazing. It's a cracking album. It's not their best album. It's not a Stained Class or Sad Wings or Screaming, but it's a really good album. But the record I hate, and this is my most hated heavy metal song of all time, is Breaking the Law. Now, this record, that will shock a lot of you. Why don't I like Breaking the Law? Well, musically, it's not bad. Not a bad guitar riff. It's just Rob Halford's lyric. I mean, the way he sings them is amazing. Breaking the law. You don't know what it's like. I blooming do know what it was like. I was brought up on council estates in the 70s. I was brought up in the East End of London in the 70s. I used to see law breaking round me. It was a way of life with me. I personally never did it myself. And I remember when this record came out in the 80s. And I listened to it when it came out. And this record was charted in the UK charts. I think it got to number 2 or something. And it was great for Judas Priest. It launched their careers, which I'm very happy about. But with me, it was just a case of life imitating art, if you know what I mean. Heavy metal, after all, is escapism. And that's why I love it. I can sit in my chair, and I can, relax and listen to heavy metal. But Rob, I love you to bits. I think you're the greatest heavy metal band on the planet. But breaking the flipping law, oh man, it just does me nutted. What you got to remember is, well, in the 70s, Britain was not in a very good state. They had race riots. A few years later, you'd have the miners' strikes. And before that, high taxation and all that. When we left school, there was only one avenue. That was the dole. We had, being working class kids. And you had these UB40s, but that's another story. And times were really, really hard in them days. People remember it. But I'm sorry, Rob, I love all your other stuff. Grinder, Genocide, keep to that stuff, but breaking the law just did it for me. And sadly for me, it destroyed Priest for me, because I wasn't going to discover them again to the Painkiller. Because I was aware of their existence in the 80s, and everybody said to me, well, Priest are good. I said, no, I can't stand them because of that one song. It was a massive mistake on my part. Never tar a group with one song. But that was my mistake, and I hold my hands up to it. But blooming heck, I shock people when they say you must be off your head. Breaking the Law is a great song. I says, maybe to you it was, yeah, but to me, I actually lived that situation. It was a bit like Mick Jagger's Let's Work. I would if I could, Mick, but I can't get a job because I've been to like 30 interviews that day and nobody wanted to employ me because there was no work, to get in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but I just don't like breaking the law. And it's one of these songs, I hate it so much I won't even listen to it. I do play this CD very rarely because the songs I like are on comps, so I tend to play them. But if I am playing this song, I'll just forward wind it or go in and make a coffee or something when it's on. But it was just to sum up, it was just a case of life imitating art. I just didn't like it, and there's no chance of me ever liking that song again. So okay folks, I've done mine now. Let's hear yours, and stick them if you have done it. Stick them on below, and let me see them and have a laugh as well. And please folks, stay safe, stay in if you really can. It's getting really bleak over it. We haven't even got there yet. Spain are far ahead of us, and Italy are far ahead of us. You don't need me to tell you it's going to be a bad one. But please folks, stay safe, love each other, and I'll see you next time. And please don't unsubscribe me, but I say they're my opinions only. Bye.